Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
All right, guys, it's the middle of the week already. That's okay. We're going to help you get through it. Wednesday's show. What do we got for you today? Let's see. Coming up, we've got a SWAT Fuel. We have Fighting Fitness brought to you by SWAT Fuel. We talk about putting in the work. We've got some anarchy in the UK. Yes, we're going to talk about that. And we have the ERK. What is an ERK? We're going to talk about that and how the ERK has been Duracoated. Well, first and foremost, I hope you enjoyed the this week's worth of episodes up to this point. We did Monday and Tuesday, and here we are Wednesday morning. Let me tell you a little bit about my weekend. It's beautiful on the Gulf Coast now. Again, finally. We had this weird spring. Is it officially spring yet? No,
yes.
It's not even officially spring.
Yeah, no.
Or it's
Monday
spring.
was the first day of spring.
Oh, it was. That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
So it's officially spring now. So the end of our winter down here, we had a really super mild winter in the South. I think
You know why?
One freeze. Why?
Because global warming.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry, climate change. Well, I'm sorry, global warming, climate change. I don't know.
Whatever it happens to be, whatever can get you the government to tax you more. No, but down here, I've been down here on the Gulf Coast for about 10 years, and usually in Biloxi, which is kind of subtropic, we get maybe 3 or 4 hard freezes in a year, like in the winter. Like there'll be three or four times when it dips below 32 degrees, into the 20s, and people freak out, and they're out wearing knit hats and scarves and
Ugg boots.
They're Ugg boots, yeah. The women. This funny thing is the women down here, they can't wait for it to get below 50 degrees. Like you go out, the first day that the temperature drops below 50, you go out in public, and every woman has calf boots on. Like everyone you see. Because they buy these things. They go online, and most of the year it's too hot for them to wear them. And the moment the temperature drops below 50 degrees, they're like, I can wear my new boots.
Remember when we were in Flagstaff, and it was like 5 degrees?
It wasn't that cold in Flagstaff.
Or 9.
It was
single digit.
Was it really that cold?
It was like 9 degrees or something like that.
Oh.
And then we came back, and it was about almost 50 degrees here, but it felt the same.
Yeah, everyone's freezing.
Yeah, so in their defense, it actually is cold here when it gets below 50.
Oh, yeah, they're freezing. But any hooser. No, we had this weird drop. Like it dropped down into the 30s and 40s for like the last week of February into March. And my point is this weekend was beautiful. It was. It was in the 70s every day. The sunshine. It didn't rain. And so I spent some time at the house doing spring cleaning, organizing, and I had kind of the freedom trifecta or quadrifecta or whatever it is. I was doing freedom all weekend long. We went to the range on Saturday and shot some guns. I shot the TP9 SFX with the new red dot sight on it. It's not a new red dot sight, but with a red dot sight on it. I shot my ERK. And I wanted to shoot the ERK, the AR-15 pistol, because on Sunday I planned to, if everything was, the way it should be, locked on, I planned to disassemble it. And that's what I did. So I did that. I sorted through ammunition cans. When you've been in the business as long as I have, you have a lot of gun stuff on shelves, and then you open up a cardboard box and you're like, oh crap, I forgot that was in there. So I did that. And then Zach and I, the shipping ogre, we lifted some steel. We got underneath some steel. And when I was underneath the steel, what was in immediate reach of my hands? An AK.
Yes.
Yes, with a standard capacity magazine and a pistol grip. And I don't know if it had a bayonet lug on it or not, but didn't. And we live like free men.
You didn't put your drum mag in there?
No. I could have, but I don't usually keep the drum mag in there for just standard walking around stuff. I saved that. It was a free weekend. We had a weekend living like free men. We documented some of it. Zach documented some of it and put some pictures up for you guys. And when I put the picture of my USMC fighting knife, I was cleaning out a closet. Cue Eminem music. No, but I was straightening out, and I came across my USMC fighting knife. Right, a lot of you people probably just refer to it as a K-bar, and I hadn't picked that knife up in years. Like a lot of years, and I thought, what the heck, take this out, put a little bit of lubrication on it, and take a picture of it, and Zach put some of those up. But if you're not following us, Zach shot some videos on Saturday too, so if you're not following us on our social media, on the Student of the Gun Facebook page or the Instagram, you might want to go ahead and do that. Now, it is Wednesday, and because it's Wednesday, Jared has a fighting fitness for you, and without further ado, I think I'll just go ahead and turn it over to Jared.
Yeah, this is a topic that I need to address again. I definitely have addressed it before, but I've seen a lot of stuff lately that shows me that I need to address it again. And this is Fighting Fitness, brought to you by SWAT Fuel. If you want to save some money on your SWAT Fuel order, go to swatfuelstore.com and use the promo code SOTG2015. And if you don't like SWAT Fuel or if you don't like Student of the Gun because SWAT Fuel sponsors us, then you can suck it.
Physically fit, physically fit, physically fit, woman, physically fit, physically fit, physically fit, woman, nice, sweet, fantastic, victory body ocean at the big Titanic, woman, nice, sweet, energetic, victory body ocean at the big Titanic, woman, nice, sweet, fantastic, victory body ocean at the big Titanic, woman, nice, sweet, fantastic, victory body ocean at the big Titanic, woman, I like to move it, I like to move it, I like to move it, you like to move it. I like to move it. I like to move it. I like to move it. You like to move it.
I miss the spot where you do your thing.
Move it.
No, did I play it past that part?
Yeah, you played past it.
Oh,
yeah.
Dang! I was looking for the arm movement, and I didn't see the arm
I didn't
movement.
do the arm movement.
That just messed up my entire chi.
It messed up your chi.
All of my chi is gone.
That is the original King Julian in the house from Madagascar, and he likes to move it.
Yes, and today on today's Fighting Fitness, brought to you by SWAT Fuel, I want to talk about your putting in the work and the amount of work you have to put in to make it happen. I've seen a lot of people, well, maybe not a lot, but I've seen more than one and less than 1,000 people lately talking about how they've been in the gym for the past 2 weeks and they're not seeing results. Some of you will see results fast because you have let yourself get too far out of shape. Those people, if you are in that position, you will see results quickly, and then they will start to taper off. If you have not let yourself get too far out of shape, then you won't see results very fast. The results that you'll see are a compilation of making good decisions over time. And hard work plus time equals success. And it really makes me tired, and it annoys me to see people that that want the results immediately, because what you gain quickly, you can also lose quickly. And wouldn't you rather put in the hard work over a period of time and acquire sustainable results rather than getting something fast and then possibly losing it quickly as well?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
It's too hard?
No, America would not do that. Are you kidding me, Jared?
Yeah,
this is America in 2017.
Student of the Gun, I hold you, Student of the Gun audience, to a higher standard than the rest of America.
The thing that we're dealing with, you and I, and as an audience, is for at least 20 years, going back to, I would say, essentially the Clinton era. The Clinton era ushered in an era of, they like to say that the 80s were the decade of greed and the me generation, which is total horse crap, but that's the popular spin that the media has put on it. When the big media figured out that they could take a reprobate, just a disgusting human being, a vile, disgusting human being that was Bill Clinton and his vile, disgusting wife, but they could lie and spin the truth and basically turn them into an MTV pop culture president, because that's what Bill Clinton was. He was the MTV pop culture president. The reason I say this is you're like, well, how's that doing with working out? It's like, since the 1990s, we've had a hardcore push that things should be easy. Things in your life, anything you want, you should be able to have because you want it. Not because you worked for it, but because your desire, your desire or your need or your want for something is enough to get it for you. And what you had all during the Clinton presidency, and then it carried on, into the Obama presidency, and is you have a culture of people that have been convinced, literally convinced, that if they come to the realization that they want something, whatever that something is, they want a car or a phone, or they want results, or they want to be healthier, or they want to whatever, that desire somehow equates results. That if they don't get it, look at American Idol. American Idol is not, I put in the work and I go for long-term sustainable success. American Idol is overnight success. If you get lucky enough, like, no, Paul, shut up. Those people on American Idol, they're really talented. Shut up. There's just as many people that are just as talented as those knuckleheads on American Idol. They won a talent contest, right? It's a nationwide talent show. You know who hates American Idol and So You Think You Can Dance and American's Next, whatever? People who've actually put in the work. Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, and old guys like me know Dave Grohl when he was actually the drummer for Nirvana, like in the 90s. That's how my first introduction to Dave Grohl was as a guy who I couldn't even see his face because his hair was always in front of it. And he did an interview, and it was a really good interview. He said that this whole American Idol instant success pop culture phenomenon is doing a disservice to American youth, because it's convincing them that if they just get lucky enough, it should be easy. And that translates, we're talking about mindset here. Mindset, tactics, skill, gear. Mindset is the number one. So you say, well, what does that have to do with working out? It has everything to do with working out, because it's your mindset. When your mindset is a certain way, everything you encounter is affected by your mindset. If you've been raised in the culture that has convinced you that because you want it, you should have it, then it doesn't matter what the subject is. It doesn't matter whether it's working out. And that's why so many young people today, or people in your generation, Jared, they won't stick anything out because they've been, it's the trophy thing.
Yeah.
Dude, my mommy gave me a trophy for going to soccer. How many games did you win? I don't know. We don't keep score because that's not fair. But it's the results for nothing. It's the living in a consequence-free world.
Yeah.
I should be strong because I want to, and I went to the gym 3 times, and I should be able to bench press 300 pounds because I went for a whole week in a row or a month in a row.
And on that subject, I see this far too often, and this actually makes me. I don't get angry very often. It takes a lot to make me angry, but I get visibly angry when somebody tells me, well, I want to have, for instance, I want to have 6-pack abs. Well, why do you want that? Well, because my friend has it and this dude on TV has it. And I'm like, why do you don't want it because they want it?
What do you get from that?
Why do you want it? Like, let's get down to the base of this. Why do you want the 6-pack abs? Or why do you want to be able to bench 500 pounds? Seriously, why? And it's not because somebody else has it. And if it is, then I don't know what to tell you. That makes me angry. If you want something because somebody else has it, then you're probably never going to have it because you're going to be focusing on them far too much, and you're not going to be putting in the results for yourself.
But to our subject, keep putting in the work. You'll see the results eventually. And the reason that, whether it's the gym or whether it's business or your job or whatever, the reason that everyone gets frustrated. Everyone does. I get frustrated. You get frustrated.
Yeah.
We all get frustrated, and that's why it's important.
Sometimes we
to
get
have
frustrated together.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to have a peer group of people that encourage each other. But it's not whether or not you get frustrated. It's whether or not you get frustrated and understand it. Okay, I'm frustrated. Like when you're, like for instance, you're doing the starting strength program, and you get in and you start doing certain weights, and you're supposed to go up incrementally every time. And when you first start, it's easy because you start out with comfortable weight.
You see the results quickly.
Because that's what you do, you know. Yeah. Especially if you're brand new, if you're a neophyte, if you've never done that. And you are able to continually progress. And that's good because it helps you mentally to feel like it gives you that inspiration that you're achieving.
You know, let me address something real quick. That's another thing I should have added to the you'll see results quickly if. I assume that everybody's been involved in fitness at some point, but we do have people that are new and haven't done it before. So if you're new to doing this stuff, or B, if you've let yourself get too far out of shape, you will see results quickly.
Yeah. So, but eventually, well, if you do it enough, if you dedicate yourself and you start going up, you'll hit a wall. You'll plateau, and it'll that adding 5 pounds to your next session, it feels like you added 1,000. You know, I posted a picture. I had Zach post one. It was a deadlift, and it was a picture of the 2.5 pound plate. And I posted the picture. I said, when 5 pounds wants to kick your ass.
Yeah.
You know, you were doing X number of weight, and then you added 2.5 pound plates, 5 pounds total, and you can't get it up, or you can only get it up one time or whatever. And you're like, what the hell? It's only tiny.
5 pounds.
It's only 5 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get frustrated, but it's not whether or not you get frustrated. It's whether or not you realize it, acknowledge it, and move on and continue to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And the problem that people have, whether it's in the gym or with their work or with their relationships, and this isn't a relationship show, is
it should be.
As soon as they, I was thinking about doing a relationship show, but I don't know if I'm there yet. I'm only, in I've been married 20 plus years. I'm still on my first wife. But as soon as the people, like for instance, that gets hard and then they stop. Well, it's not. Do you stop when it gets hard, or do you keep going, or do you acknowledge it and continue anyway? The frustration is not the problem. It's the reaction to the frustration. How do you feel when you get frustrated? Do you just say, screw it, I'm not going to do this anymore, or I should? You get the I should be. I did this work. I went for a whole month. You talk to people that have been doing it for years, like their whole lives,
Yeah.
And somebody's been doing it for 6 weeks, and they want to bitch. They're like, oh, this isn't right, or this is different, or something. Yeah. Folks, life's going to get hard. You're going to get frustrated. That's okay.
Can I share a personal story?
Yeah, sure.
So this is actually on topic with this. And do you want to know the action or the training program that I've seen the most results quickly for myself?
The California diet.
The California diet. Oh, man, there's so many things.
No, not the California diet.
So many things that I could say, but we're not on the grad program.
No, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So it's actually barbell training. So I've been at this now for 2 months, since January 15th that we went, or something like that.
Yeah, it was
8th
early
and 9th
January.
Early January.
It was the first weekend of January.
Yeah, so February, March. So about 2.2 months. And in my physical appearance, I've seen the biggest change than anything that I've done before. And it's been 2 months. So if you are looking for changes, and 2 months is not fast to some people, but to me, 2 months is a fast change, especially in the fitness world. And it's sustainable. So if you're looking for results that you can actually see, obviously you can see yourself adding weight to a bar. And you can see your physical appearance change. Now, not everybody's going to see the physical appearance change that quickly, or
most of the time you don't notice your own physical change.
Yeah, and that's something that I didn't notice it either. Other people, like I went to
because you see yourself every day.
The dude that signed me up at the barbell gym that I went to, I hadn't seen him since I signed up. I saw him the other day. He's like, "Dude, you went and got skinny on me." I still weigh the same amount. I actually weigh 5 pounds more. But I just wanted
to look different.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you that barbell training has been, I don't know. I guess it's been a pleasant discovery for me.
There you go. All right. Let's move on and let's go ahead and one thing that I wanted to make sure that you guys are all aware of. When I go to we do the morning mindset and I talk about this or that, or when I have projects, most of the time. The projects, I got the stuff from one of our sponsors, because I know this seems strange to a lot of you guys out there, but believe it or not, I don't allow sponsors on my show whose products I don't use. I will never do that. I have never done that. The entire time I've been doing Student of the Gun TV and radio, I've never had a sponsor on the show whose products I've not used.
I would go as far to say that everybody that sponsors Student of the Gun is our friend.
Yes. And we have good relationships with them. Now, have I been bestest buddies with everybody who's ever sponsored the show? No, not necessarily. But at this point in time, like for instance, Crossbreed Holsters, when I first met Mark Craighead, the founder of Crossbreed Holsters, the inventor, the designer, about 6 years ago or so. I guess it was 6 years ago, almost 7. I met him in the fall. Oh, geez, Louise! I met Mark in the fall or the winter of 2010, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. And he's like, he showed me his product, and at that time, and I've told this story before, but it's absolutely true. In my gun carrying career, I had tried a number of inside of the waistband holsters, and from going all the way back into my early 20s.
Yeah, but how long have you been carrying a gun?
When I became a police officer, when I was a bodyguard, I tried all the different inside of the waistband holsters. I got one from a company called Andrews Custom Leather that I wore. I tried it and I wore it, and I could wear it for. If I set it up right and I cinched my belt properly, I could probably get away with a few hours before I started feeling the rub, feeling the gun rubbing in, against my waist, against my hips, against my side. I never found one that I could wear all day long. Like literally get up in the morning, put the holster on, wear it all day, and take it off at night. Wear it on road trips, wear it in. I just couldn't. And this guy, Mark Craighead from Crossbreed Holsters, said, "No, look, I want you to try this." And I said, I looked at him like, "Okay." I said, "I will, but here's my experience has been blank, right?" And he said, "I understand that. I get it, but just do me a favor, give it a try." And so I did. I took my I think it was my G-Lock, my G-Lock 23/19, and I started wearing it. Then I also got it was summertime. Well, when it moved into the summer and it got really hot and I started wearing shorts, several months later, I started wearing the Car P45 in a Super Tuck Deluxe in shorts and a t-shirt. And brothers and sisters, I became a believer. And Crossbreed has been with us basically this whole time, ever since then. But the whole reason I bring this up is every once in a while we get somebody who will approach student of the gun, and they have a new widget or a new super cool thing or whatever, and they're like, hey, you guys, you need to get on with my company, and we'll do this, this, and this, and that's cool, but I'm not going to bring somebody on who I haven't used and who I don't trust. Like, for instance, Frog Lube. We used Frog Lube products for about 6 months before Frog Lube became a sponsor of Student of the Gun. We took Frog Lube products, like I said, the famous shooting camp expedition where we went to spend an entire week at a shooting camp, and we shot shotguns and pistols and rifles every day, and we Frog Lubed them all, and I was like, wow, this stuff really works. So moving on, Frog Lube and so forth. Now, what's funny to me, people, Jared, in the United States today, people just they are so bored with their lives that they look to manufacture drama. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
We're the most overstimulated, well, other than Japan. Japan is the most overstimulated country on planet Earth right now. But other than Japan, the United States of America, people who live in America, even guys who have full-time jobs, apparently have so much leisure time on their hands that they need to go on these forum groups and so forth and manufacture drama. For instance, I'm looking right now at a Century Arms AK, and it's one that I've had for I had it before we moved to Biloxi, so I've had it for more than 10 years. And it's a Wasser, and I know that there were some Wassers out there that were dogs, but this one's not a dog. And I got it off the rack. This wasn't handpicked for me. I got this rifle, and I don't have a problem with it. I shoot the crap out of it. But there are people who just go out and they look for things to complain about. I've had a lot of success with Century Arms machines, with the guns that they manufacture. Now, Century Arms hasn't made perfect guns all the time. They've had some imported guns. They had some. They were doing a lot of things back in the 90s where they would bring in parts kits. They would buy the kits in Slovakia or whatever and bring them and complete them in the United States. But I'm telling you this: there's not one gun company on planet Earth that has never had a dog. Not one. Colt, the LE2, or what they call that thing, the LE2000. It was just an abysmal. It was a horrible abortion, right? Smith & Wesson, you name it. There's every company that's out there has had a dog at one point in time, something that just didn't work, or there was an embarrassment, and that's okay. It's what did they do about it afterwards? Now, Century Arms, like I said, the pistols that we've been shooting from Century Arms, we shoot the crap out of those Canic guns. I've been shooting the crap out of them here. The TP9 Elite, brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, get your hands on one of these guns. Jared, am I lying or am I dying? The TP9 SF Elite.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's my personal favorite of the whole TP9 series.
I just saw an online, and Jacob would be mad because they're not supposed to sell them this cheap. They're not supposed to sell them below I think it's below $425 or something. I saw one of these online firearms retailers. It wasn't Century, it was somebody else that had them marked down this weekend, $399.95 plus shipping. Dude, for $400, you can't beat it. That is a gun that's just going to run and run and run, and it's well made. You can go to centuryarms.com and you can check them out. But I'm telling you what, if you find one of these guns, even if you find it for $425 or $449, it's still $150 cheaper than the next closest comparative item, or at least $100 cheaper than the next closest comparative item.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you're disappointed, you just have, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know.
I don't know what to tell you. And, Duracoat, very similar. I wanted to tell you guys something about a Duracoat, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it later, but if you're going to Duracoat a gun, this is where people screw up. This is where I screwed up. You want to do a camouflage pattern? You're like, yeah, I want to do a camouflage pattern. Those are cool. The problem is, well, it's not a problem. When you do a camouflage pattern, what you do is you basically You do the first layer, then you put the templates on, right? The stickers. Then you do the second layer, then you do the third, and so forth. And what people will do is they want to see the end product fast, and so they don't allow the base layers to cure or set up or dry fast enough, or long enough, that is. They don't allow it to dry long enough, and then they screw the finish up. And that comes down to patience. If you're going to do if you're not baking it in an oven, if you're just air drying it, you have to have patience. And that's where I've screwed stuff up, was because I didn't have enough patience. And so I'm telling you, when it comes to Duracoating your guns, especially if you're going to do one of the cool camouflage patterns or whatever, patience and a good finish, or a good start.
Patience and a good start.
And a good start, yeah. Well, a good start with the Duracoat is you need to start. A good finish starts with a good start, yeah.
I would say you always have a good finish with Duracoat.
Yeah. Dude, you should TM that. Always a good finish. TM.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a free training video series called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. We want you to have access to this life-saving information. Get instant access now at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of those questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
Alrighty then. We haven't used this theme song in a while, and quite frankly, I've missed it. And I think you probably have missed it too. And the moment the notes touch your ears, you're going to get excited. That is the Sex Pistols. Johnny Rotten. All right, and we're going to go. I'm going to show you. I'm going to explain to you. I'm going to demonstrate to you the use of selective reporting or lies by omission. Now, if we're going to fight the good fight here as freedom-loving individuals, you have to understand, you have to focus on, you have to realize that there are organizations and people and groups in the world that don't want you to have all of the facts.
Or states.
Because you can't handle all of the facts. And if you were in possession of all of the facts, you might make the wrong decision. And we can't allow you to make a bad decision, even if it's based upon fact. So we need to make sure you don't get all of that. And this story I saw this story over the weekend, and I started researching it, and what I found was very interesting and illustrative. And this happened in the UK. Now, this first story comes to us from the express.co.uk. All right? And the title is Horror as Father and Son Have Throats Slit in Paris Street Killing. That's pretty horrible, right? Yeah, let's go ahead and dive in. And what I've noticed, Jared, I don't know if you noticed it as well, these overseas news sites they're spastic monstrosities. You get a sentence, then a photo, then some graphics, then 2 more sentences, then another photo, and then 2 paragraphs, then another photo, and a link, and an ad, and a link, and a thing, You get maybe 200 words of text, and you have to hit the scroll down button 5 times to get it. These so-called news websites are designed for modern humans that they have the attention span of a fruit fly. Like a 30-second attention span. Not people that are actually looking for genuine reporting, but just like bullet point reporting. Horror, father, street killing, blah, 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 blah. So you start the story like this, and you're like, okay, well, this is terrible. Now, this is a story from March 17th. A father and son have died after get this, knife man. Not a gunman.
Yeah, not a gunman.
A knife man slit their throats in a stabbing in Paris in broad daylight. First sentence, then it ends, and you have to hit the scroll down.
That's actually the title and the subtitle.
Yep. You have to hit the scroll down. Okay, story by Kate Mansfield. Police sources say the men were discovered with their throats slit outside a building in the French capital's 11th district. Okay. Both men died at the scene as paramedics tried to save them. The attacker happened on Rue de Montreuil in the east of the French capital near Place de la Nation. Okay. Now now we got to hit the scroll down button again. One resident told Le Parisien, I went down. I saw a body in the hall, a body in the yard, and a third person sitting with the firemen and policemen around. There was blood everywhere. Okay.
Oh, I see that now. I was like, where is this? Because they have the picture
right.
and related articles and then this quote thingy. Holy crap.
Now check out this weakness. This is how you know British people are weak. They're so weak. Oh man, how do they even walk around with no spine? It is amazing. They should send scientists to the United Kingdom to determine how Homo sapiens can migrate around their neighborhoods and how they can function without spines. It's miraculous. Armed police surrounded the scene as officers launched an investigation into the attack. They have to specify that there were armed police. Because, in the UK, not every police officer is armed. And when you're an armed police officer, you have to run around screaming, armed police! Armed police! We're armed police! We want everyone to know we're armed police as we run around. As 16 of us run around and surround a guy with a knife. Don't know what to do. Oh my God. All right, so now we're 4 paragraphs into this. Police have arrested a man in connection with the attack. He is said to be a family member. And that's it. Hit the scroll down button, not once, but twice. So we get all the way down to the middle of this, right? And it says, police sources have called for caution on the motives of the knifemen. Okay, what?
Is that actually a real word?
I don't know. It's probably a UK word because they got off right. Judicial police are leading the investigation. Okay. Local media say the father was killed in the courtyard of the building. The knifeman, said to be his son, is thought to have stabbed him in the stomach before slitting his throat. And we go all the way down. Witnesses, blah, 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 saw a body. Police have set up a psychological unit on the ground floor for those affected by witnessing the killing. So they've sent out social workers to talk to the friends and neighbors who might have seen what happened so that the state can counsel them. Traffic was stopped in the area. Okay. The attack comes amid high security in the city just before Prince William and his wife, the Duchess, visited. Okay. Who cares? And France remains under a state of emergency following a string of deadly terror attacks over the past 18 months. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the
whole story.
End of the story.
And there's no comments allowed.
So here, and no comments allowed. So here's what you did not find out. What did we not find out? We didn't find out the names or identities of the victims. We didn't find out the name or identity of the attacker.
Well, why do you need to know that?
Yeah, why would you need to know that? They told us nothing other than 2 men died and there was 1 man in custody, and the police sent out psychologists and psychiatrists to counsel the neighbors and witnesses. Okay. Wow. So that was from the express.co.uk. Exact same day, March 17th, story from dailymail.com. Now remember, these are British outlets, and reporting on what happened in Paris. So they're all getting their information from the same sources. So all of the British news outlets have the same sources available to them. It's not do they have, whether or not they have the sources available. It's whether or not they choose to report the facts. dailymail.co.uk, story by Julian Robinson, 17 March, same day. Headline, horror as man wearing Muslim tunic slits his father and brother's throat in Paris street while shouting, Allah Akbar. Interesting. A man wearing a Muslim tunic has been arrested on suspicion of slitting the throats of his father and brother in Paris Street this morning, it has emerged. The alleged attacker shouted, Aloha Snackbar, as he knifed the 2 men in Rue de Montreal in the eastern French capital morning, blah, blah, blah. Horrified witnesses saw 1 victim lying in a pool of blood. Same photos, same stock photos from Getty Images. The circumstances of the attack were unclear, but some witnesses said the suspect made remarks linked to, quote, radical Islam. Police urged caution, saying the killer's motives were unknown. See, that they're urging the people to be cautious. Cautious against being stabbed to death by a Muslim missionary? No, cautious against saying or thinking the wrong thing. Residents in the high building heard a man crying for help around 10 a.m. I looked out the window. I saw a man on the ground. There was a lot of blood. There was another man standing beside him, dressed in a white jalabala, the loose-fitting tunic worn by Muslims. He fell to his knees and prayed until the police came and took him away. Another resident, post boxes, saw a pool of blood by the post boxes. That would be mailboxes, you guys, yeah. It was carnage, yada, yada, yada. And this is, in 2015, ISIS fanatics went on a rampage in the French capital, slaughtering 130 in a wave of machine gun and suicide attacks. France remains on high alert after a wave of Islamist terror attacks over the 2 years. Now, you notice the previous story just said terrorist actions. It didn't say Islamist. So we have 2 stories, same day, reported by British news agencies, and actually, I only gave you 1. There were 3 top news sources for this attack. The first 2 did not identify the killer, did not identify the description of the killer, only said they used the term knifeman in both of them. Just because he was dressed like a Muslim and slicing people up, yelling Aloha Snack Bar, that doesn't mean anything. You like that? It's called lies of omission or selective reporting. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now, before I let you go, I've got on the England thing, I have one more story from the UK. And this actually just broke, or it was a recent, this again from 17 March. Apparently a lot of stuff happened on Friday. The Telegraph.co.uk. Teen killed by ex-boyfriend had been fined by police for wasting time after complaining of his violence. Wow, let's go ahead and dive in. A teenager was issued a fixed penalty notice. Wow, you British people are so gay, I swear. A teenager was issued a fixed penalty notice by police for wasting time. Is a fixed penalty notice, is that like a ticket or a citation? You think, Jared? You think?
Yeah,
so?
probably.
A fixed penalty notice? I'm sorry if you're a listener in the UK and I'm sorry for you. Really, I am. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you. It's terrible. But we have to acknowledge this. Issued a fixed penalty notice by police for wasting time after complaining about an assault by her ex-boyfriend, who allegedly went on to murder her, a court heard. That's a weird sentence, but that's okay. So is she dead or is she not dead? Oh, she's dead, but she was allegedly murdered. Now, did they think she died of natural causes? No, her throat was slit. So I'm going to go ahead and say that was murder. But I don't write news articles for the Telegraph. So allegedly. Jared, do you think when someone has their throat slit and then they're ceased to be alive, that they were allegedly murdered or that they were murdered?
I think that they were murdered.
Yeah. But whatever, come on, Paul Eric, don't judge. Police were called after Michael Lane, 27, pulled 19-year-old. There's a problem there. Why does a 19-year-old have a 27-year-old boyfriend? That's Shauna Grice's hair and tried to grab her mobile phone last March 21st, a jury was told. Prosecutors said the incident happened as she walked down a road after leaving her home, unhappy that he had turned up unannounced with her two housemates following her to a pub. Okay. Lewes Crown Court heard Lane was spoken to by police and denied Ms. Grice's claims before showing officers messages apparently confirming she wanted to be with him, blah, 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 whatever. In a list of agreed facts read by the Junior Prosecution Counsel. Gosh, these things are so hard to read, Jared. In a list of agreed facts. Am I being overly picky here? Or are these people lunatics? I don't know. Read by Junior Prosecution Counsel Amy Packham, no further action was taken against Lane. But jurors heard Ms. Grice was issued with a fixed penalty notice for failing to disclose that she had a relationship with Lane, and for having caused wasteful employment of police by making a false report. The month before, Ms. Grice complained to police about being stalked by Lane and about her car tires. What? Did you know that British people spell tires with a Y?
Really?
Yeah. Her car tires, Tyres, being deflated. Whew. There's a different one for you. The month before Miss Grice, after July 9th, Lane was cautioned by police and told to stay away from Miss Grice after he stole a backdoor key from her home and let himself in. So here's the end of this. Here's the whole thing. Jurors said the incident was a low risk. That police treated the incident as a low risk, but that the investigating officer would be made aware. So here's the dealio, yo. So Johnny Psycho, ex-boyfriend, stalking chick, it's escalating, which is what it does. It escalates. Because if you don't put a stop to it, it will escalate. Just saying. The police fined the teenager they gave for wasting their time right before she got her throat slit by her psycho ex-boyfriend. Awesome. But in Britain, you can't defend yourself. You're not allowed to possess the means to defend yourself. So when you go to the police, Jared, why do liberals in America tell us we should be more like England? What do they use? What do they use as their?
They're more reasonable.
We should be more like England because not even their police officers have guns. They have strict gun control. And if everyone has gun control, then what do you do, Jared? When you have a problem, you call the police.
Ghostbusters.
The police, right? That's what you should do, like in England. Look how civilized England is. Look how safe the people of England are because of all their gun control. Except that when someone's slashing your throat on the street, there's probably not going to be armed police standing right there. And if you do call the police and you file a complaint, then they fine you for wasting their time. Woohoo! You got to be proud. They got to be proud. All right. Well, man, I'm long today. I am. But I thought what needed to be said needed to be said. So you're welcome. Yes. All right. That's time for Brownells bullet points. And here's what I'm going to tell you. The ERK is the Emergency Response Kit. Now, what is an emergency response kit? I got this idea, actually. The side-folding pistol, I had seen them, and I'd seen advertisements for them, and I knew that Brownells had the Law Tactical Side-Folder Kit. I was aware of that. But it wasn't until a friend of mine showed me his 300 Blackout pistol with a side-folding brace, stabilizer brace, that I realized that I wanted to investigate it further. Now, my friend has one, and he keeps his gun, his pistol, which is 300 Blackout, in a Pelican case. In a small Pelican case, it looks like a carry-on bag. It's about the size of a carry-on bag that you guys know what a carry-on bag is, to get on an airplane. And he showed me his kit, and not only in the kit did he have the side-folding pistol, right? He also had a pocket lifesaver medical kit. He had an extra magazine and some other various accoutrements. And the way he explained it to me is he said, obviously a rifle cartridge is more powerful and more effective in stopping bad people than a handgun cartridge. I'm like, yes, you are absolutely correct. And he said, so I have a gun on me all the time, but if I got in a position or active shooter or whatever, I could pop the latches on this, and I could have this AR-15 pistol rocking and rolling in a matter of like 10 seconds. Like, I got you. And it would be a more effective and efficient fight stopper than any pistol that I could hide on my body. I'm like, I'm with you. And so I thought, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to explore that myself. And so what I did is, well, obviously you guys know I went to the Brownells catalog and I got the Law Tactical folding brace thing, and it came with the Shockwave wrist stabilizer and the internal parts kit and the upper receiver, the entire upper receiver. And then my friends at Spike Tactical, I contacted them. I said, hey, I want to put a barking spider on this, because if you're going to shoot a rifle caliber pistol and you don't put some type of blast deflector, some type of gas control device on the end of it, you're wrong, and you need to fix yourself, because they are loud and they're abusive. Now, I put the barking spider on it. Does that make it quiet? No, it doesn't make it quiet by any stretch of the imagination, but it makes it, I guess, less offensive or less brutal on the person shooting it. It doesn't feel like someone's punching me in the face every time I press the trigger. So, but the ERK, I took it to the range, tested it, fired it. I put some rounds on paper, determined which ammunition was going to be best for it, which style of ammunition, which flavor, which bullet weight. And then I brought it back home, and I completely disassembled it, and I Duracoated it. And like I told you guys on Friday, I showed you the can. I used the Gray Sabbath Dura Metal finish. And if you haven't seen it yet, if you go to the Student of the Gun Facebook page or the Student of the Gun Instagram page, you will see colors, or you'll see pictures. You'll see colors. You can see colors, I guess, unless you're colorblind, and I'm sorry, then you can't. But you'll see pictures of what it looks like now with the Dura Metal finish on it. So that, and I'm going to talk about on Friday, Jared. I'm going to go into very specific detail about the project, but I wanted to let everybody know if you want to see pictures of it. And it's all back together now, and you can go to either our Instagram
So
or
like
Facebook
Humpty
page.
Dumpty.
Yep. Indeed.
And that it would be facebook.com/studentofthegun or instagram.com/student of the gun.
Crazy. Tomorrow, what is a gun? Seriously, what is a gun? Well, that seems like a simple rhetorical question, but it's not so much. Tomorrow on episode 560, we're going to address that. We're going to talk about what is a gun, and then we will also, in addition to that, we will have a Student of the Gun homeroom for you. So make sure that you're tuning in and listening louder. Till then, remember, you're a beginner once, student for life.